Grand Risings, Libras. Happy Soulful Sunday. It's your girl King, bringing you some dream downloads. This will be a short video, but we are going to get into what's been going on in the ether. So much, Libras. Sun, moon, rising, north node, wherever Libra may be sprinkled in your chart, you are indeed welcome here. Hello to all of my new subscribers, my faithful, ever-growing few, and for those of you just breezing on through, what it do? Now, of course, the same rules still apply as per usual. Some or all of these messages may or may not resonate with you in this current passage of moments. So Libras, please do only take the messages that vibrate with you. Now, forgive me if there's a frog in my throat. I have just arisen, so let's get into these dream messages. Number one. Well, I'm not quite sure where to start, so we'll just start with this. Libras. Now, this could be going on for you, and I feel like the Most High is asking me to reveal these specific dreams because they may be relatable to you. And I still remember these dreams. Now, this particular dream I had a couple days ago, but there have been similar dreams to this one, and they're all carrying the same kind of, I don't want to say message, I'll say energy. But I've been with men in these dreams, like hanging out, like they're around me, and it's not the same group of men, meaning they don't look the same in each of these dreams, but they carry the same energy. And so the energy of these gentlemen, and there's between 3 to 5. In some dreams it's 3. In this last particular dream I'm explaining now, there were 5 gentlemen. But the energy I get from them is that they're friends, or they're confidants, or they're quote unquote people I can trust. That's the energy that they were giving off in the dream state. So, I'm hanging out with them. We're, going different places and stuff in my dreams. And in this particular dream, these gentlemen took me out on a boat, and it was like a fishing boat. It's got like a I think it's called a backboard motor. So they took me out on this boat, and it was like a lake. It was like this huge lake. And so, I'm all excited because I'm like, yeah, we're going on the boat. And so we're getting on the boat, and we're on the dock, and I'm like stepping off the dock into the boat, and I'm looking at the boat, and there's a bunch of coolers and stuff, and it looks like we're about to have like a day on the boat, like fishing, and there's probably some snacks and some drinks in the coolers and stuff. So they've got the boat all packed up. So all the gentlemen are getting on the boat. Then I get on the boat. And then we get out on the water. I don't think we actually got far from the dock. But I just remember we were in the boat, and, everyone's talking, and, there's a bunch of chatter, and everyone's kind of excited. And then one of the guys turns to me, and he's like, we're about to dive. And I was like, what? We're about to dive? And I'm looking around, and I'm like, the first thought I had when he said we're about to dive, and I looked around at the boat, everyone's got on shorts and, like boat attire, like regular wear, not like yacht attire, not that kind of boat attire, but like, they got on shorts and shirts and stuff and sneakers and, just cooling, like chilling wear. So I'm looking at their clothes, and I'm looking at the supplies on the ship, and my first thought when he said we're about to dive, I'm like, I don't see no scuba gear. I was like, I don't have on a wetsuit. And I'm like, well, I don't see no oxygen tanks. And so we start going underwater, like the boat, and it's not like it started, I guess you could say it was sinking, but it started to go under. Like water is filling up in the boat. And I had my shorts. I had on shorts and a shirt. I don't remember the coloring, but I know I had on shorts and a shirt. And as soon as the water started coming into the boat, and it's like around my ankles and it's getting up to my knees, like we're literally going down. We're sinking, but we're diving as if we were a submarine. And I'm feeling the water rise up on my legs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this water is so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold. I was like, we don't have wetsuits. And I was like, there's no oxygen. I was like, what about the oxygen? So then, like, we're all submerged. Like, the boat is fully underwater, we're fully underwater, and I'm just looking at them as we're underneath the water. And what I was getting from that particular dream and from the subsequent dreams that came before it with these men, again, different men in other dreams, but this group of men, they carried the same energy, and that's how I know it's the same folks. They just, their vessels switched up in this particular dream, but I knew it was the same group of men. So what I'm getting from this, because when I woke up, I immediately felt this, and I'm beginning to feel more in my dream. It's not so much what I see with my eyes in the dream state, it's more so what I feel energetically. And so what I felt from this particular dream is that, like, these men were trying to cozy up to me or to befriend me, but it's like they wanted me to take this deep dive that may have been uncomfortable or very shocking, because that water shocked me. Like when it hit my ankles and it was rising up my calves to my knees when we were diving, and all I could feel was that very, very cold feeling in the water. It's like someone wants you to make a shocking change. Now, for some of you, again, this may resonate. For some of you, it may not. There may be groups. Okay, let me say this. If you are heterosexual, you may be dreaming of the same sex trying to entice you or almost pull you down or into that sexual realm, because we know water has to do with emotions, right? But what I'm getting from this is it's sexual. So I felt like these men were trying to change my sexuality or affect my sexuality or kind of pull me back the other way. If you happen to be homosexual, you may be dreaming of the opposite sex trying to manipulate you or pull you or entice you into being straight. So that's what I'm getting from those messages. So there may be people around you, Libra, whether you're homosexual, whether you're heterosexual, that may be trying to entice you the other way from whichever way you happen to swing. So there's that dream. I had another dream where I was walking into an office, but how it felt in the dream, it felt like a sports medicine office. So I don't know if sports is significant to you or whether sports is significant to this male figure that I saw in the dream. So when I walked into this office, there were a couple lights on in the ceiling, but it was kind of dark. And as I'm walking into the room, there's a table in the middle of the room, and there's like some plants off in the background, and like I said, there's kind of lights like in the middle of the room, and they're kind of shining down on this table. And like in the background of the room, it's a little bit dark, but it's like the lights in the ceiling were kind of all focused down on this table. And it looked like a massage therapy table, or it really looked like, when you go to the hospital and you go into those little patient rooms and they have those like examination beds or tables. You kind of step up like 2 steps and then you sit on it, and it's got that long leather strip in the middle, and sometimes they'll pull down that plastic roll that covers the table, you know, so you can lay down. The doctor can do, you know, some little examining. So this male was laying on this table in the middle of the room, and he had like a big white sheet over him, and I could only see him, well, his body from like the top of his stomach up. So he had this white sheet or like a very large towel covering him, and he's laying on this like examination table or like a sports therapy massage table, whatever, however you may want to term that. And so I walk over to him, and I walked over to the right side of the bed, which would have been his left side. And they're telling me this placement, and why I'm explaining this is significant. So I walk over to the table, and he's laying there, and he's looking kind of sullen. And when I walked up to him and I'm looking at him, before I said anything and he said anything to me, in my mind, in the dream, I said, he kind of looks like my first boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, but not really. A little bit, but not really. And when I approached him and I got to the actual side of the bed and he looked at me, I can't remember what he first said to me. He said something, and then I replied. And then the next thing he said was, I miss you. And I said, do you? And then he kind of turned his head away from me, and he was looking all sad and sullen again. And then he turned his head back to me, and he said, I don't want to be creative. And then he kind of like started pouting, like he poked his bottom lip out, like he was real pouty about it. He was like, I don't want to be creative. And I said, well, don't. And then he just kind of looked sullen again. And I'm like, it's something about football, and it was something about cleats. And I remember saying in a reading just not too long ago about you being on field, about you being in a new arena, about you putting your cleats on, that you're field ready. You're ready to field anything that comes your way. And this masculine, he was probably, I mean, even though he was laying on the table, he's gonna be over 6 feet. He had like cocoa brown, like when you buy hot chocolate and you pour the powder in a cup. He was that color. Before you put the water in, he was like cocoa powder colored. And he had like he had really curly hair. It was shorter on the sides, but it was kind of long on the top, like maybe 2-3 inches tall on the top, but it was short on the sides. I don't know whose masculine that is. I feel like somebody's masculine is having problems being creative. And because he was in a sports medicine office, I feel like it's because this masculine may be having trouble getting back on the field. They may be experiencing difficulty with creativity, which may be affecting them from getting back on the field, or i.e. getting back out there. So this may be why a masculine or your masculine, Libra, is maybe not coming forward because they feel like they've lost their creative spark, their creative streak. They feel kind of lackadaisical. There's just no energy. It's like this person may be having a creative block, and that's not only preventing them from charging forward in their own life, like being on their own field, like making those scores, making those plays, doing the things that's going to get it done, whatever it is for them. But this also lends into them feeling like there's some kind of block from them coming back to you. And I feel like this person feels like they have to be creative because they know how creative you are. And I think that they think that's the only way that they're going to get back next to you or getting your good graces is if they are creative in the way that they come back toward you, because whoever this is, Libra, you've dealt with this masculine, whoever this masculine energy is. And again, it could be a feminine, take it how it vibrates. But because of who you are, they can't come at you with the bullshit. So this is definitely somebody from your past. They can't come at you with the same song and dance, the same game, the same runs they ran when they knew you before. So because they feel this creative block, they feel like, and they're showing me football players. So I don't know if this masculine is a football player, or you both like football, or maybe, you know, you shared the liking for the sport, or you had the same team. But it's something about this masculine feeling like they're having a creative block, and that's not only preventing them from moving forward in their own life, but it's preventing them, or they feel like it's preventing them, or causing some kind of blockage or stoppage in them coming back towards you. But whoever this masculine is, Libra, they definitely do miss you. Third dream, last dream. Told y'all it's gonna be quick. So this last dream, and I just had this, and it's interesting that it came on the full moon. I had a dream wherein I was in this space, and this space, and I'm gonna use fuel here, because I'm telling you, the way I see things in the dream state is so different now. Again, it's not what I necessarily see with my eyes, it's what I feel. My dreams are so vivid, and they're so I'm not even gonna say surreal, they're so real. Like how I live in the present, in the waking state. You know, when things come up or things go on, you know, I'm always, of course, but we all are always, of course, thinking thoughts in our head. But it's like I think more in the dream state. And I like talk to myself in my mind in the dream, because I know I'm dreaming. Like, I kid you not, when I go to sleep, I've trained my brain so much that when I'm sleeping, I know I'm dreaming. Like, I know that I'm dreaming. I also know I have control over my dreams. I've had control over my dreams for a very long time. But side point. So I'm in this space, and I mean, I of course can see it looks like a cafeteria, but what it feels like is a hospital cafeteria. There were a lot of people moving around. You know, there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of talking going on. You know, there's clinking of plates, dishes. You know. So there's a lot of humdrum going on in the background. I had just come out of some hallway that, like, I opened the door and then it opened into this cafeteria. Again, it's huge. It's like a huge hospital cafeteria. So there's people moving around, and I hear, like, my ear just happens to pick up a conversation out of all the hullabaloo in the cafeteria space. I hear one particular conversation, and it was something about, she did get it, or something like that. I heard someone say, oh, she did get it. And I turned my head to the right, and it was my mother. She was talking to a group of people. And my first thought in my head was, oh, hell no. I was like, let me dipset. I do have some estranged family members, close family members, and I've not seen nor spoken to them in quite some time. So there's that. So even in my dream state, and I said to myself in my dream, I was like, what the fuck is she doing here? Because she don't belong here. So I went through some other door, went you know, down another hallway, and then I was talking to some people. And in my mind, I was like, first of all, what is she doing here? Because I knew that I know that she's not supposed to be in my dream state, because I had set it up like that. There were some violations, and so she had been stricken from the record. So, so that was another violation because you should not have been there. Two, in talking with some people, these were like, I want to say like high level people that worked in the hospital or whatever building this was. And they were telling me something about like the next steps I had to do, or like now you have to go do this and you got to do this and you're going to be responsible for this. And so I was like, okay. And then, you know, I left that room. I don't remember who, whether it was male or female that I was talking to, but again, it was like a group of people. They were telling me like the next steps I would have to take, the next task, what I'd be responsible for. And so I'm like, okay. So then I leave out of that room with that group of people, and then I come back into like the cafeteria room, and like I open the door, and then, you know, of course it's all busy, people still in there. Then I close the door again, and I'm like, oh, let me go get my jacket. And it was a lab coat. It was a white lab coat, and it had stitching on the right side, like over the breast. I don't know what the stitching said. It was black stitching, an all white lab coat, but it had black stitching, and it said something over like my right breastplate. I didn't read what it said, but you know, I looked down at my jacket, and I could see that there was black stitching in the jacket. So I don't know whether it said my name or, you know, said something about the establishment or the building that I was in, but it said something. So I put my lab coat back on, or I put my lab coat on, and then I step out back into the cafeteria, and there's a group of people and talking around my mother. Like I walk out and I see her again, and she's talking to all these people, and she's like, she said something, I can't remember verbatim what she said, but she said something to the effect of, oh, well, she really did get it. Look at her. She really did get it. And she's all dressed up, like dressed to the nines and stuff, and this group of people had moved away from her. So out of my periphery, I see these group of people move away from her, and she's just standing there. She got a drink in her hand, and she's got her purse on her arm. She's got heels on. I think she had on a brown and a black outfit, if I'm not mistaken. And then she started calling me. And I'm at a counter. I think I was fixing coffee, or I was fixing something, like some type of food. I was getting something. And I hear her calling my name. And I'm like, I'm like, first of all, I don't know why you're calling me, because you should be calling me. But... and then in my brain, I'm like, she just wants to talk to me because she see me with this jacket on. Like, because I had heard previous conversations. Like, I heard her talking about the fact that she didn't think I got something, or she didn't think I had achieved something. She was talking to, I don't know if it's the same group or a different group of people earlier. But I heard her talking about the fact that she didn't think I got something. But since she saw me with this lab coat on, which, you know, if you have on a lab coat, then you're probably somebody with, and I say probably, a high level of knowledge. You may know something about science. You may know something about physiology, you know, something, biology, whatever. You could be a doctor, you could be a scientist, but you're a very learned person. They don't just give out lab coats. You know, you're not just going to be somewhere and they're like, hey, want to wear a lab coat? No. So you have to have attained some certain level of knowledge to be wearing a lab coat. Even if you're a lab assistant, you know, I don't care if you're working like in a virology department or a biology department dealing with science and stuff. You know, even lab techs and stuff, even if you're like a pharmacy tech, you know what I'm saying? You don't just get a lab coat. You have to have gone through some type of study, some type of higher learning to achieve being able to have a lab coat, especially if it's got your name stitched on it. So it's like she didn't think I had attained some type of level of knowledge or success or whatever. But since I had attained it, oh, well, let me talk to you. I was like, no. So the dream ended right there with her just calling me and me still fixing my coffee or whatever I was mixing. So, and this has come up. Um, quite a bit in readings in the past about a mother figure, your mother, Libra, being jealous of you. Your mother also not wanting you to do better than she did. It's like she didn't ever expect for you to achieve some level of success, some level of measure, some level of knowledge. It's like because you couldn't be better than her. You couldn't outdo her. You're not supposed to have more than she has. You're not supposed to know more than she does. Well, because, she's the mom. You're the child. You're supposed to forever be under her. And this is what I'm getting. So you may have a narcissistic mother or a mother with very narcissistic tendencies who may not have ever thought that you were going to make it. And it's like now that you've made it, Libra, again, now that you've achieved some level of success, some measure of knowledge, it's like now she wants to get back in your good graces. Now she wants to come back around. But it's only because you've achieved something. Because before, it's like she was kind of talking shit, like she didn't believe in you. She didn't think that you were going to amount to much. But since you did, oh, gosh damn, you got on this lab coat shit, probably got your name on it. Oh, what's up? Hey, you. How you doing? No, absolutely the fuck not. You can stay right on over there on the other side of that boundary that I placed. Now, I didn't put you on the other side of that boundary. What I did was I placed a boundary. You chose which side of that boundary you wanted to be on by your actions. And since she showed up in my dream state, again, violation. It's like you have no respect. And I've told her, matter of fact, the last time, and they're asking me to bring up this dream too. The last time I had a dream about my mother, we were in a car and it was nighttime and she was driving. Now, from my own understanding and experience with people in cars and dreams, your car, of course, in a dream is like the chariot and the tarot. And normally you are the driver of your own car. When you are having dreams about other people driving you in a car, meaning you're a passenger, whether you're in the front or the back, and that has significance as well. But especially when you're the passenger, somebody else is driving you. That is a signifier that somebody may be trying to take control of your destiny, your journey, your path, your life. Someone's trying to steer you in whatever direction. So in this particular dream, this last dream I had about my mother, which was probably a couple months ago, but it's still very clear in my head. We were driving at night. She was driving. I was in the front passenger seat, and we were having an argument. She was yelling at me. And, she's driving and she's like turning her head and she's like yelling and stuff across the seat. And I'm like, I'm not going to go for this. And like she went to reach her hand over to like hit me or something. And so I pushed her arm and I like tapped her on her shoulder. And she was like, "Don't hit me." And I said, first of all, don't you ever in your life put your hands on me again. I said, I'm not hitting you. I said, I think I said something like, I'm subsiding the issue or I said something to the effect of like, I'm trying to de-escalate the situation. I think that's what I said, but something around those words. And so she kept screaming, and I told her to pull over. So she pulled over, and I opened up the car door, and I was about to get out. I didn't get out yet, but I turned to her and I said, "You know what?" I said, just go ahead and go. I said, "But know this." I said, "Know that I'm calling the police and I'm reporting you." And she was like, "Call the police, call the police." I said, "I will." I said, "I'm going to call the police. I'm going to report you." I said, "And you're going to give me my car back later." And then I got out the car, I closed the door, and that was the end of that dream. So she left in my damn car. So she's driving me in my car. So that's very important. So in that particular dream, I felt like my mother was trying to steer the course. Steer, S-T-E-E-R, steer the course of my destiny and steal. She was trying to steal the course, the direction of my destiny. First of all, you're driving my gosh damn car. You're yelling at me. She wasn't driving right, and that's another reason I got upset. But it was when she went to reach her hand to like hit me, I was like, hold the fuck up. Because I'm grown, okay? And you're not going to put your hands on me at this point in time in my life. I'm nowhere near a child's age. Okay, I may have a childlike spirit, but we're certainly not a child. So don't reach your hand to strike me. So when I pushed her hand back and I tapped on her shoulder, like, don't do that. Is she gonna tell me I'm hitting her? I'm like, no, I'm de-escalating the situation. I'm moving your physical vessel back on your side of the car because you're in violation, moving your body over here on this side in a violent, aggressive way. So this mother figure, Libra, may have been trying for a long time to fuck up your destiny, to take control because she has control issues. And I feel like this mother figure, when she has no control over you, she absolutely feels at her fucking wit's end. Because Libra, you're such a free spirit. You're not meant to be controlled. And this is why you may have difficulties with people in your life who try to overexert their control over you. And the real fact of the deal is that no one should have control over you. You are your own person. You are a sovereign, divine being. And whether you came out of someone's womb from having been mixed with the seed, with the sperm, coming out of your father's testicles, it absolutely does not give them control over your life. Now, you may have come through them, but you are of the Most High. You are of spirit. You were born free. You will die free. Parent, no parent, ex, no ex, friend, brother, sibling, family member, co-worker, ex-boss, whoever the fuck. Okay, Libra, they have no control over your life, your path, your destiny. God's plan, what the Most High has planned for you. And it seems like this mother is going through some awesome turmoil because she has lost control of her child. This is how she feels. It's very upsetting. I mean, the look in her face when she turned to me in the car that I just explained with her about to hit me, I'm going to be honest. When she turned to me and she looked at me and she was screaming, I mean, she was so mad. You know how when people get mad, sometimes they like spit out their mouth or a little bit of foam forms in the corners of their mouth? And she was like spitting mad. And when she looked at me, when she was about to strike me and I turned to her and I pushed her arm back and tapped her on the shoulder, she looked like a demon. I'm just going to be straight up real about it. It's like her face in that 1 second when she was frothing at the mouth and spit was coming out and she was just so mad. She looked like a demon. Now, it didn't scare me because I knew who was sitting in front of me. But it's the feeling. So your mother may have an attachment. Your mother may have many attachments. Your mother may have had this attachment or many attachments for a very long fucking time. And these attachments may have led your mother to do some very evil, horrible things to you in your lifetime. Libras, you have full control of your path, your destiny, the actions that you take on a daily to reach your destined and desired heartfelt dreams, goals, wishes, aspirations. No matter what's going on in the dream state, Libra, know that you have control of yourself. And Libra, you absolutely do have control over your dream state. You can set up boundaries. You can set up firewalls to protect yourself, to protect your dream state from those that you would not want to or allow to occupy that space. I don't know whether your mother or my mother, this mother figure, has been working under the moon, utilizing the moon cycles to, i.e., cross these thresholds, these barriers, these firewalls that you have set up to protect yourself from her gaining access. Your mother, my mother, this mother figure is definitely still watching you. And they're in shock and awe. And there's been talk. She's been talking to other people. And it's like, she's been talking shit about you to other people, telling them that she didn't think you were going to make it. But now, again, now, Libra, now that you've reached this point, this level, and we're all at different levels, we're all at different points in our paths, in our journeys. Whatever specific point you're at now, Libra, it's the talk of the town. Well, whoever your mother's talking to in the town. So there was all this doubt, all of this disbelief about who you truly are and what you've become, what you're here to do. And now that you're doing that, Libra, now that you're doing that, this mother wants to come back to get in your good graces. But it's only because she feels like, well, I mean, you might kind of be on my level. But there's still this contention. There's still this energy of her looking down upon you. So it's not genuine. So Libra, if you have a mother that you're estranged from, if you have a mother that you've set up boundaries with, if you have a mother that you've set up boundaries with that you're estranged from, that you were absolutely not in contact with, she's still watching. And the only reason she wants to come back around is because she kind of, emphasis, she kind of feels like you might be on her level now because you've achieved something in your life. But this is artificial. This is superficial. This is grand hobnobbing, okay? Some of you may be familiar with that term. If you're not, it's okay. But it's like she wants to hobnob with you because you're somebody now. Now you're somebody. Libra, you've always been somebody. You've always been you. Don't drop the blockade, Libra. Don't drop your boundaries. Don't revert back to a past version of yourself. That certainly would not ring true with who you presently are. There are some energies that are very much trying to drag you away from your path, away from the stepping stones that the Most High has placed in front of you. Know your path, Libra. Know your own heart. Know your own soul. because the past is trying to return for a time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already discovered that many of these seasons have already ended. These are seasons not due to repeat in this new cycle. So cycle on, Libra. Cycle on. Any and all pertinent information to this reading can and will be listed right down below in the description box. Libras, thank you so very much for your presence, for your energy, for your vibes, for your likes, for your shares, for your subscribes. I appreciate each and every single one of you, whether you are Libra or not. Hello, cross watchers. Keep doing your thing, Libra. Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. I love you. United we stand, together we rise. I'll let you go. Peace.